Senhoras e senhores, muito boa tarde. Bem-vindos à
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Welcome to the Helena Vaz da Silva European Award for the Dissemination of Cultural Heritage 2023. We will have Snežka Kveda-Mijalović, Secretary General of Europa Nostra, that the National Centre of Culture represents in Portugal.
Good evening, everyone. Madam Secretary of State for Culture, Mr. Mayor of Lisbon, querido Carlos, Mr. Trustee of the Calouste Gulbenkian Foundation, querido Guilherme, Madam President of the Centro Nacional de Cultura, querida Maria, Mr. President of the Turismo de Portugal, Carlos Abade, dear members of the family of Helena Vaz da Silva, eminent winner of the Helena Vaz da Silva European Award 2023, querida Jorge, and dear three other generations of the Chaminé family. Welcome, very warm welcome to all of you to Lisbon. Wonderful to see you with us. We have the parents of Jorge Chaminé, we have the daughter and the grandchildren. This is wonderful. And, of course, also distinguished Portuguese laureates of the European Heritage Awards, Europa Nostra Awards 2023. Excellency, dear colleagues and friends, it is an immense pleasure for Europa Nostra and for me to be back to the World Heritage City of Lisbon for this special occasion, which has become one of the highlights of the annual European Heritage Calendar, the ceremony for the Helena Vaz da Silva European Award, during which we shall also pay tribute to the 4 Portuguese laureates of this year's European Heritage Awards, Europa Nostra Awards, that we are running together with the European Union. I'm always thrilled to represent one of the founding partners of this award scheme, Europa Nostra, as the master of this ceremony, which is traditionally held at the headquarters of the Gulbenkian Foundation. I would say this unique temple of culture and education, which is magical garden that was also recently been inscribed on the World Heritage List. Here in Lisbon, the city of light, we are gathered for an evening of celebration of the values of enlightenment through culture and cultural heritage. A celebration of the champions of a Europe of culture and a Europe of values, 2 fundamental ideals which were so central to the entire life of an extraordinary European woman from Portugal, Helena Vaz da Silva. As a journalist, a cultural activist, and a member of the European Parliament, Helena Vaz da Silva made an outstanding contribution to the promotion of our Europe based on our shared cultural heritage and values. And in today's challenging times, the legacy of Helena remains a source of inspiration and strength for us all. Now, for the opening address of this evening of celebration, I'm delighted to give the floor to our host, the Gulbenkian Foundation and its trustee, Guilherme de Oliveira Martins.
Thank you, Snežka. It's always a great pleasure to have you between us. Senhora Secretária de Estado, Senhora Presidente da Câmara Municipal de Lisboa, Senhora Presidente do Centre Nacional de Cultura, Senhor Presidente do Turismo de Portugal, uma palavra especial ao nosso premiado.
I would like to address the award winner, Professor Jorge Chaminé. It is indeed a pleasure to welcome you here and to pay tribute to you. Let me first say it is an honor for the Calouste Gulbenkian Foundation to host again this event of the Helena Vaz da Silva European Award. And let me mention in particular our dear friend Emílio Rui Vilar, that is a member of the Europa Nostra bodies. He was always an enthusiast of this link between the Calouste Gulbenkian Foundation and Europa Nostra and the Helena Vaz da Silva European Awards. Thank you so much for your presence. Let me also address the Mayor of Lisbon, my dear friend Carlos Moedas, to highlight the joint engagement with the European Heritage Hub. This is indeed an innovative project of the cities, the European cities, of the European citizens. And thanks to the municipality, the Gulbenkian Foundation, the Ministry of Culture, and the National Centre of Culture, among many other institutions, to launch this networking project that puts culture first in Europe. We know that Jean Monnet said that if he had to start again, he would start with culture. He said something else. He said that what we are building is a building of citizenship and institutions. And in particular today, we're building peace. And in this case, there's a lot to be accomplished. So I would like again to welcome you and thank you for your presence. I would like to congratulate the award winners, and also I would like to say that Helena Vaz da Silva is here today with us with the happiness, enthusiasm, and the capacity to mobilize us. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, dear Guilherme. I wish I could speak myself also in Portuguese, perhaps sometime in the future, but bear with me, I will probably be the only one speaking English while all the others will be speaking this beautiful Portuguese language. But thank you, Guilherme, for stressing the importance of European citizenship. And I think what we are here also gathered is to talk about the cultural aspect of citizenship. And in Venice, we recently presented a Venice Declaration on promoting European cultural citizenship. So, let's join our forces. And thank you so much once again for the Gulbenkian Foundation, for your support for so many years, for Europa Nostra, for this award from the very beginning, 2013. That's when we launched together this award, and now also for this new project, European Heritage Hub. Another extremely important partner for Europa Nostra here in Portugal and Lisbon is Centro Nacional de Cultura, the organization that Helena Vaz da Silva was the president, and I'm delighted that we have now with us the president, the actual president, Madam Maria Calado. And it is in fact this partnership between Europa Nostra, Centro Nacional de Cultura, our country representation here in Portugal, and the Portuguese Press Club that decided, together with the support of the Gulbenkian Foundation and also Turismo Portugal, to launch this award. So, Maria, you are also chair of the European jury, and I'm delighted that we also have here present with us Professor Irina Subotic from Serbia, who is also a member of the jury, and Pete Jaspert, who is our vice president. And so, as you can see, the Europe as a whole is here, but Maria, the floor is yours to present this award scheme.
Boa tarde. Senhor Administrador da Fundação Calouste Gulbenkian, Dr. Guilherme Oliveira Martins, anfitrião desta cerimónia e parceiro do prémio, Senhor Presidente da Câmara Municipal de Lisboa, Senhora Secretária de Estado da Cultura, Senhor Presidente do Turismo de Portugal, Senhora Secretária-Geral da Europa Nostra, cara Senesca, Senhor Membro do Conselho Europeu da Europa Nostra e Diretor da sua sede em Bruxelas, Senhor Presidente do Clube Português de Imprensa, Dr. Dinis de Abreu, nosso parceiro, familiares da Helena Vaz da Silva, querida Helena, que está aqui conosco, a Helena Júnior, como nós costumamos dizer, mas ela é plena, membros do júri do prémio, ilustre vencedor, caro Jorge Chaminé, representantes dos projetos portugueses distinguidos no âmbito dos Prémios Europeus de Património da Europa Nostra 2023, membros do Centro Nacional de Cultura, caros convidados. O Prémio Europeu Helena Vaz da Silva é um projeto de referência no âmbito das atividades do Centro Nacional de Cultura. Inspira-se na memória viva da nossa querida Presidente, que em todas as frentes promoveu a cultura como motor do desenvolvimento, como espaço de liberdade e criação e cidadania. A sua ação foi marcante no contexto português e em organismos institucionais e internacionais de referência, como o Parlamento Europeu já referido, Conselho da Europa, a Unesco e a Europa Nostra. É precisamente no âmbito da Europa Nostra a maior rede da sociedade civil na área do património cultural, a que o Centro Nacional de Cultura pertence e que tem a honra de representar oficialmente em Portugal, que nos envolvemos em grandes projetos e parcerias internacionais, promovendo a Europa da cultura, reforçando a voz dos cidadãos na defesa e na valorização da cultura e do património. É o caso do Prémio Europeu Helena Vaz da Silva, que, desde 2013, tem vindo a contemplar personalidades de excelência. E do projeto piloto também, é o caso também do projeto piloto, já aqui referido pelo Dr. Guilherme Oliveira Martins, European Heritage Hub, promovido recentemente pela Comissão Europeia e liderado pela Europa Nostra, com uns grupos de parceiros, onde se inclui o Centro Nacional de Cultura, por sua vez com parcerias portuguesas também, mas é o caso também dos já referidos Prémios Europeus de Património, que este ano destacaram 4 projetos portugueses. Projetos vencedores nas principais categorias do prémio. E aproveito aqui para os referir: a conservação dos tetos mudejares da Sé Catedral do Funchal na Madeira, um projeto da região autónoma da Madeira com várias parcerias, a salvaguarda técnica da pesca artesanal Arte Chávega, uma candidatura da Câmara Municipal de Cantanhede, o projeto Almada, os painéis da Almada Negreiros em Lisboa, uma candidatura do Laboratório Hércules da Universidade de Évora, com parcerias, e o querido arqueólogo Cláudio Torres, na categoria Campeões do Património, que muito nos honra. Cabe aqui destacar, neste âmbito da Europa Nostra, o papel essencial de Senesca Mihailovic, Secretária-Geral da Europa Nostra, pela sua energia e permanente envolvimento em todas as atividades. E também agradecer ao professor António Lamas, que aceitou o nosso desafio, mais uma vez, para presidir ao Júri Internacional dos Prémios de Património na categoria de conservação. O Prémio Europeu Helena Vaz da Silva é atribuído anualmente a um cidadão cuja carreira se tenha distinguido pela difusão, defesa e promoção do património cultural da Europa, assim diz o regulamento do prémio. O Centro Nacional de Cultura concretiza este projeto em parceria com outras instituições, desde logo o Clube Português de Imprensa e a Fundação Calouste Gulbenkian. São parceiros que muito estimamos. Para vós, o nosso reconhecimento. Agradecemos a estas instituições na pessoa dos seus representantes. Este prémio tem envolvimento e apoio financeiro do setor público, o Ministério da Cultura, o Ministério dos Negócios Estrangeiros e o Turismo de Portugal, mas também do setor privado. A Fundação Calouste Gulbenkian que é simultaneamente parceira ativa e mecenas. A todos também o nosso muito obrigada. Ao Ministério da Cultura, agradecemos por comungar desta visão de património cultural em que memória e criação contemporânea são indissociáveis. Ao Ministério dos Negócios Estrangeiros, por acreditar no papel de uma organização não governamental na representação internacional de Portugal. Ao Turismo de Portugal, pela sua visão estratégica ao valorizar o património e a cultura como recursos turísticos. Continuamos a contar convosco. O prémio é atribuído por um júri internacional constituído por personalidades relevantes pelo seu currículo e atividade no âmbito da cultura e da comunicação. Ao seu prestígio, conhecimento, rigor e envolvimento permanente, devemos a atribuição continuada e a qualificação do prémio. Em nome do Centro Nacional de Cultura e também na qualidade de presidente do júri deste prémio, exprimo o nosso profundo agradecimento e um abraço muito carinhoso para Pete Aspert, Francisco Pinto Balsemão, Irena Subotic, Mariana Terdal, João David Nunes, Guilherme Oliveira Martins. Este ano, a distinção recaiu sobre o barítono Jorge Chaminé, presidente do Centre Europeu de Música, a quem agora felicito de viva voz. A apresentação do premiado será feita pelo Dr. Guilherme Oliveira Martins, que bem conhece o seu percurso de excelência no campo da música e da cidadania cultural. Para terminar, um agradecimento especial ao Sr. Presidente da República pela forma como, ao longo destes anos, tem acompanhado o Prémio Helena Vaz da Silva e na impossibilidade de participação presencial nesta cerimónia, nos deixou uma significativa mensagem. Muito obrigada.
Muito obrigada, querida Maria. Our partnership is really a wonderful partnership, and now for many, many years. And people still remember the Congress in 2012 that we organized together in Lisbon. And I can tell you, perhaps here in the presence of the mayor, that people are lobbying, asking, you know, when are we going to have our next summit in Lisbon again? So no pressure, but just something that I think we feel very comfortable. We could stage yet another time. But what is important that we are the voices of civil society, Centro Nacional de Cultura, Europa Nostra, and we are benefiting from the competence and passion of so many professionals and volunteers. But one of the key elements of our mission is to liaise with governmental authorities, local, regional, and national, to raise the profile of culture and cultural heritage among the policy and funding priorities of the governmental bodies. We therefore wish to greet very warmly the presence tonight of the mayor of Lisbon, Mr. Calouste Moedas, who has expressed also his enthusiastic support to the European Heritage Hub project that we are now running, especially with our Brussels office, and I'm glad that also head of our Brussels office, Jimmy Jamar, is here with us. And so Lisbon has become, together with Krakow, Athens, Venice, one of the main pillars of this ambitious project where we put all together, we want to put heritage where we believe it belongs. At the heart of our European project. But we are also particularly honored to have with us tonight the Portuguese Secretary of State for Culture in representation of the Minister. And I'm very pleased to give the floor to Madam Isabel Cordeiro.
Excelentíssimo Sr. Presidente da Câmara Municipal de Lisboa, Dr. Carlos Moedas, Excelentíssimo Sr. Administrador da Fundação Calouste Gulbenkian, meu caro professor Guilherme Oliveira Martins, nosso anfitrião, Excelentíssimo Sr. Presidente do Turismo de Portugal, Dr. Carlos Abate, cara Diretora Regional de Cultura do Alentejo, Dra. Ana Paula Amendoeira, Excelentíssima Secretária-Geral da Europa Nostra, Sra. Mihailovic, Excelentíssima Senhora Presidente do Centro Nacional de Cultura e do Júri do Prémio, Doutora Maria Calado, cumprimento também o nosso professor Jorge Chaminé e também o professor Cláudio Torres, aqui presente, professor de muitos dos presentes, creio eu. Cumprimento também todas as individualidades e entidades distinguidas com os diversos prémios, ilustres convidados, senhoras e senhores. É, sem dúvida, com uma enorme honra e um gosto muito particular que participo nesta cerimónia de entrega do Prémio Europeu Helena Vaz da Silva para a divulgação do património cultural, numa ocasião em que se homenageia também os distinguidos com os Prémios Europa Nostra 2023. No seu conjunto, trata-se de um elenco de agraciados que não poderia ser mais notável e mais representativo do melhor do nosso país no plano da conservação e restauro, da pesquisa, da investigação e da sensibilização das carreiras dedicadas à salvaguarda do património cultural. As palavras que me ocorrem são de deferência e também de enorme consideração e apreço pelo trabalho desenvolvido por todos nestas áreas patrimoniais, celebrando-se hoje nesta cerimónia os vossos tão relevantes contributos para a preservação da memória de um passado que se quer vivo e presente, de um passado que se quer futuro. E, neste panorama, a personalidade, as palavras e a ação de Helena Vaz da Silva não poderiam ser mais consentâneas. O Prémio Europeu para a Divulgação do Património Cultural, que continua a evocar o seu nome, após 10 anos de existência, celebra um percurso em muito dedicado à defesa da liberdade, da cultura, do nosso legado patrimonial e do seu encontro com a contemporaneidade na esfera nacional e internacional. Assim, Sr. Presidente do Centre Europeu da Música, professor Jorge Chaminé, as minhas sinceras felicitações por tão prestigiante distinção. O seu merecimento é total perante uma vida dedicada à valorização do património musical, enquanto legado que transpõe os tempos e as gerações, os territórios e as fronteiras, enquanto linguagem universal por todos praticada e por todos fruída. Daí o poder das manifestações musicais na dádiva que podem trazer para o reforço de uma identidade comum, para a união dos povos, para a construção da paz, mesmo em momentos e em lugares assolados pelas clivagens e pelas dissensões. Gostaria ainda de deixar uma menção também muito especial de homenagem a Cláudio Torres, consagrado com um dos Prémios Europa Nostra 2023. Semértola renasce como um dos grandes epicentros dedicados à arqueologia e ao património cultural, de incontornável referência no nosso país. A este extraordinário arqueólogo, investigador e professor se deve. Pela sua perseverança, pela sua dedicação incondicional, pela longevidade do seu trajeto, pelos frutos e pela vasta obra que nos deixa no campo da atividade científica e nos domínios da arqueologia, da história e da museologia, o meu reconhecido agradecimento. Cara Maria Calado e Senhora Mihailovic, nas vossas pessoas enalteço igualmente o trabalho concretizado pelas entidades e pelas equipas envolvidas no Prémio Europeu Helena Vaz da Silva e nos Prémios Europa Nostra, por celebrarem e oferecerem protagonismo aos profissionais, aos investigadores, aos projetos desenvolvidos no universo do património cultural nas suas mais diversas dimensões. Termino estas breves palavras com um profundo sentido de reconhecimento e também num tom auspicioso, confiando e acreditando no vosso papel e no papel daqueles que nos seguirão para essa causa maior, porque profundamente humanista e democrática, essa causa maior que é a salvaguarda da nossa herança patrimonial. Agradeço a todos a vossa atenção e dou os meus sinceros parabéns aos premiados. Muito obrigada.
Thank you so much, Madam Secretary of State. It is extremely important for us also to have the governments to support the cause of Europe of culture, and we know that we can count on Portugal to do this. So at the beginning of this evening, I mentioned that we will not only celebrate the winner of this year, Helena Vaz da Silva Award. So we will keep a little bit of suspense for some more time, because we are going also now to pay tribute to the Portuguese winners of the European Heritage Awards, Europa Nostra Awards. And in fact, we started out here. You can see the logo of these awards. We are very proud that in 2002, the European Commission decided to select a civil society organization, Europa Nostra, to run the most important European Union award for cultural heritage. We call it European Oscars for cultural heritage. And since 2002, as many as 24 outstanding heritage achievements from Portugal received that award. And every year, we recognize up to 30 exemplary heritage achievements, and we do it in 5 categories: conservation and adaptive use, research, education, training and skills, citizens' engagement and awareness raising, and last but not least, the category of heritage champions. It's always a very difficult task for the jury to decide. We get more than 200 applications, and we have to select the 30th. And I'm glad to greet Professor Antonio Lamas, who was one of those jury members who had in Timișoara, the European capital of culture this year. They met in order to decide which of the candidates will receive the award. And out of 30 this year, 4 went to Portugal. It's not because of Professor Antonio Lamas, it's because of the extraordinary quality of these projects that we have received. And it's not the first time I'm meeting the representatives of this award. I had the joy and with representative of Europa Nostra to meet in Venice at the end of September, where we organized the European Cultural Heritage Summit of this year, and it was a particularly festive occasion because we also celebrated the 60th anniversary of Europa Nostra. And so we were together on stage at the iconic Palazzo del Cinema, where we had the European Heritage Award ceremony in the presence also of our president, Cecilia Bartoli. So every year it's somewhere else. So this year it was in Venice. 2012, as I said, it was Geronimo's Monastery, unforgettable ceremony. But Venice was also a very special occasion. And now, after Venice, so it is only right that we seize this opportunity also to pay tribute in the presence of so many eminent personalities from Portugal, these award-winning achievements. So I will first now invite the representative of the Mudéjar ceilings of the Cathedral of Funchal project that received an award in the category Conservation and Adaptive Reuse, and I invite Mr. Francisco Clode, project leader, to take the floor and to tell us more about this extraordinary project.
Thank you. So gracias. I will say a few words in English, only to say thanks to the Europa Nostra and the way we were received in Venice. And that summit was unforgettable. And also was so beautiful, Venice, with that sunny days. And now, agora em português, agradecer antes de mais, em nome da Direção Regional de Cultura da Madeira, esta extraordinária oportunidade da divulgação na Europa deste trabalho. Dizer que é um trabalho de uma equipa entusiasta que há mais de 10 anos lutou pela iniciativa, começando sobretudo primeiro por um trabalho de avaliação, de conservação e restauro do telhado, para poder então iniciar com a participação de fundos europeus do restauro do teto. O teto hispano-morisco da Sé do Funchal é de uma enorme importância a nível nacional e também a nível ibérico, na medida em que constitui talvez um dos mais espetaculares casos conhecidos. Tivemos a sorte de termos a colaboração do Laboratório Hércules, do Laboratório José de Figueiredo, tivemos a sorte de incluir no projeto uma pessoa como o engenheiro Vítor Vajão, tivemos a sorte de vários especialistas nacionais e internacionais que colaboraram em toda a parte científica e de estudo em termos de história da arte, mas também de análises químicas e todo o trabalho que está por detrás daquele maravilhoso resultado. Dizer que a sé do Funchal, a Catedral do Funchal foi durante 30 anos a catedral que a diocese a que respondia o São Salvador da Bahia, mas também Goa e Angra do Heroísmo. A sé do Funchal foi uma espécie da catedral do resto do mundo que se estava a celebrar a sua descoberta. E daí ser tão importante no contexto do Manuelino Atlântico. Dizer que estes tetos têm pessoalmente uma grande importância, na medida em que eu, quando era uma criança, já estava interessado nestes temas do património e da cultura e frequentava com o meu avô de mão dada a Sé, e ele disse-me uma coisa que eu na altura não percebi. Ele disse-me que apontava para o teto e dizia: este teto é de certeza um teto extraordinário e eu não vou poder vê-lo na sua plenitude, mas quase de certeza tu vais poder um dia vê-lo. E quando se deu a oportunidade de se restaurar o teto, é interessante perceber que isto da conservação e do restauro do património já são gerações que lutam por ele e que têm essa... Nós temos que transmitir ao futuro essa capacidade de sonhar que é possível concretizar estes trabalhos de conservação e restauro. E perceber que a Madeira não é só paisagem, há uma tradição cultural profunda e o seu património cultural pode ser altamente importante para a diversificação também da sua oferta turística. Vou muito rapidamente passar as imagens. Temos as imagens da localização da Sé Catedral do Funchal. Aqui uma imagem dos tetos da alvenaria de Alfarge antes dos trabalhos da conservação e do restauro. Portanto, são tetos datáveis dos primeiros anos do século XVI. Aqui são já os primeiros trabalhos com a colaboração do Laboratório José de Figueiredo e do Laboratório Hércules dos levantamentos das patologias. Aqui já os trabalhos da conservação e limpeza. Diga-se que foram cerca de 1.500 metros quadrados de cotonete. Aqui temos, por exemplo, a figura de Henrique Enuere, um dos maiores especialistas da Península Ibérica em tetos. Outro aspecto muito importante foi, durante a obra, o trabalho educativo, as visitas guiadas que nós tivemos com as escolas, com o público interessado. Eram visitas que rapidamente se esgotavam, tal era o interesse que despertou este conhecimento pela primeira vez, a possibilidade de ver pela primeira vez em 500 anos os tetos. Estas são visitas de algumas crianças. E estamos já a ver o resultado final dos trabalhos E pronto. Era tudo. Muito obrigado. Agradeço a presença das entidades. Obrigado.
What an impressive place and what an impressive project. I can tell you that in Venice everyone was in love, and I think they're all dreaming of coming to Funchal. And I hope also for me, les Français disent jamais 203, for next time we will celebrate it in Funchal, these projects and this award. Now we will hear more about the project. It is in the category research, safeguarding of the artisanal fishing technique, Arte Xavega. And that received an award in the category research. Arte Xavega is a cherished traditional fishing technique that has been practiced for centuries on Tocha Beach in Cantanhede. I apologize for the pronouncement. So Mr. Pedro Cardoso, Vice President of the Municipality of Cantanhede, will tell us more about the project.
Muito boa tarde, excelentíssimo Sr. Administrador da Fundação Calouste Gulbenkian, Dr. Guilherme de Oliveira Martins, Sr. Presidente da Câmara Municipal de Lisboa, Dr. Carlos Moedas, Presidente do Centro Nacional de Cultura, Sra. Secretária de Estado da Cultura, Secretária-Geral da Europa Nostra, Sr. Presidente de Turismo de Portugal. Nas vossas pessoas, cumprimento todas as entidades e distintas individualidades e demais participantes. Permitam-me um cumprimento especial ao vencedor do Prémio Europeu Helena da Silva para a divulgação do Património Cultural 2023, Dr. Jorge Chaminé. Em nome de todas as entidades envolvidas neste projeto e dos pescadores aqui presentes, faço presente a enorme honra que foi para nós receber este prémio. Preparámos uma pequena apresentação em vídeo, mas permitam uma pequenina introdução. O nosso projeto, a salvaguarda da técnica de pesca artesanal Arte Xavega, é um projeto de investigação através da transferência de conhecimento e saber fazer para dar a conhecer práticas e exemplar salvaguarda da Arte Xavega, um dos últimos exemplos de pesca artesanal e sustentável na União Europeia. A Arte Xavega é um dos mais antigos tipos de pesca artesanal sustentável, manifestação de um património cultural, material e imaterial de valor inestimável. Facilmente identificada pelas suas embarcações únicas e pelas técnicas específicas nas praias arenosas, esta pesca é praticada há centenas de anos na Praia da Tocha por gerações e gerações de pescadores, tornando-se indiscutivelmente um bastião cultural identitário desta pérola da região centro, que é a Praia da Tocha. Falamos de uma pesca artesanal, tradicional, local, de cerca envolvente e alar, uma pesca de arrasto feita a partir da praia sem porto de abrigo e, portanto, uma pesca de coragem, uma arte única e fascinante, um património cultural marítimo do maior interesse histórico, etnográfico, cultural, turístico, sociológico e mesmo ambiental. Ainda há umas décadas atrás, na Praia da Tocha, soava o inconfundível toque do búzio que despertava os pescadores para a faina. Não tendo tempo nem oportunidade para contar tantos e tantos pormenores e singularidades desta pesca, ficou convite a todos para visitarem a Praia da Tocha, conhecerem a Arte Xavega e, no final, perante uma mesa habituada a conviver com a experiência que lhe chega das águas frias do pedaço de Atlântico que beija o território gandarês, marcando o ritmo das gentes da faina que não se vão arrepender. De sublinhar que esta atividade secular tem sido, ao longo dos tempos, uma importantíssima, quando não única, fonte de subsistência para as comunidades pescatórias do litoral. A história da Arte Xavega é, em larga medida, a história do povoamento das areias do litoral português. Os tradicionais palheiros, construções palafíticas construídas na praia, são também um espaço e tempo de partilha de uma tradição, de um saber fazer, um estar, um ser e um sentir. A Arte Xavega tatuou, esta palavra tão cara ao poeta e escritor Carlos de Oliveira, tatuou não só o território e as comunidades pescatórias, como as gentes da Gandra. Com o mar a ditar o ritmo da vida e o coração a pulsar ao som das ondas, poucos são aqueles que ainda se dedicam à secular tradição da Arte Xavega. São cada vez menos os homens da Xávega que vão resistindo e que dia após dia lançam ao mar as suas artes e com elas lançam também a esperança diária de que o mar lhes retribua o amor que têm por ele. No momento em que se debatem diariamente questões relacionadas com a sustentabilidade dos recursos marinhos litorais, abordar o tema das comunidades pescatórias e da arte chávega afigura-se de grande pertinência científica e ambiental. Falamos de sustentabilidade ambiental, de equilíbrio ecológico, de preservação de ecossistemas marítimos. Neste projeto, através de programas culturais e educativos inovadores e sempre em estreita colaboração com a comunidade pescatória, em parceria com o Centro de Interpretação da Arte Chávega da Praia da Tocha, foram várias as iniciativas implementadas no âmbito deste projeto, desde a criação de materiais didáticos e científicos em português e inglês, até à construção de uma embarcação tradicional, já para não falar do envolvimento das gerações mais novas em dinâmicas educativas que implicam a recriação desta arte e a apropriação deste património cultural. Mais do que um prémio, para nós este prestigioso galardão é o reconhecimento do trabalho de todos aqueles que contribuíram para este projeto. Câmara Municipal de Cantanhede, o Centro de Estudos do Ambiente e do Mar da Universidade de Aveiro, a ADEL, a Associação de Desenvolvimento Local da Bairrada em Mondego, a Junta de Freguesia da Tocha, o Agrupamento de Escolas de Gandramar, a Associação de Moradores e, claro, a toda a comunidade pescatória da Praia da Tocha, estando aqui tão bem representada. Este prémio, sim, é deles e é para eles. Mais do que o reconhecimento da importância, do interesse e do valor deste património cultural, este projeto representa um compromisso coletivo de tudo fazer para proteger e promover a arte chávega, assim como tudo o que lhe está associado em termos de tradições, identidade, memórias, cultura, conjugando sempre tradição e inovação, respeitando as artes, criando e recriando as histórias e sabendo valorizar os produtos locais e a autenticidade das gentes. Este património é também um contributo para a construção de uma Europa mais bonita, sustentável e inclusiva. O risco que corre esta arte em vias de desaparecer, a importância de resgatar do esquecimento todas as tradições, usos, costumes, memórias e identidade que lhes estão associadas, convoca-nos a todos em torno de um património comum europeu e um dos elementos mais notáveis e simbólicos do litoral. Apenas para abrir o apetite, um pequenino vídeo. Muito obrigado.
Tenho respeito pelo mar, mas medo não tenho.
Já vou ao mar desde a idade de 2 anos. Portanto, há 68 anos que ando ao mar. Porque já andava ao mar aos pés do meu pai.
Comecei aqui com a morte do meu falecido avô, porque depois a minha mãe começou à frente disto, juntamente com o Toino, no lugar do meu avô. E a partir daí comecei a gostar disto, não é? E tenho-me mantido até agora.
Como nós somos como uma família. Ajudamos uns aos outros. Tudo o que é preciso, nós estamos aqui na arte, estamos a ajudar uns aos outros.
Eu nasci nisto, né? Já o meu avô fazia, o meu bisavô, o meu pai, e depois eu nasci no estaleiro, então, praticamente.
A arte chávega é uma arte que vai ao mar, cerca e traz logo para a terra.
Isto é mais pelo gosto que a gente tem de lá andar e para dar turismo, porque senão já não vale a pena andar lá muito.
Adoro esta arte, pá. Eu adoro isto. E é uma homenagem que estou a fazer aos meus antepassados.
É uma paixão, porque se me tirassem daqui, estava sempre aqui o bichinho a morder.
Thank you so much and congratulations, Mr. Cardoso. I can tell you that this film, when we saw it at the Fondazione Cini, everyone was emotional, and it was like an ode to sustainability, not just fishing, but the way we are being, the way we are living, the way we are interacting with nature, and especially because in Venice we also had the first European Heritage Hub forum on the interaction between culture, heritage, and climate action. This project really had a very, very special applause and appreciation. Thank you for what you have done. Now we are going to the category Citizens' Engagement and Awareness Raising, the Almada project. And this multidisciplinary project has utilized scientific research to unveil the mural art of Almada Negreiros, one of Portugal's most influential artists of the 20th century. So it's my pleasure to give the floor to Madame Mylène Gilles, researcher at the Hercules Laboratory of the Évora University.
Thank you so much. Boa tarde. É uma grande honra estar presente na cerimónia de entrega do Prémio Europa Helena Vaz da Silva e na companhia de tão distinta audiência. O ano de 2023 foi particularmente profícuo no que toca à divulgação de projetos culturais portugueses e seu reconhecimento internacional. Disto é também exemplo desta candidatura, ganha nos Prémios Europa Nostra, de que tenho o prazer de vos apresentar. A Almada é para todos, em qualquer lugar, destaca a estratégia de comunicação aberta de um projeto académico que aposta na partilha de conhecimento e na atração de diferentes públicos para a causa patrimonial. Um projeto que conhece e que dá a conhecer a obra de pintura mural de Almada Negreiros. Almada Negreiros, que no início do século XX aventurou-se na área da pintura mural, desafiando-se e desafiando na forma e nos temas representados. Obras que já na altura promoviam a reflexão e a inclusão. E esta também é a nossa missão como investigadores. Cada vez mais é crucial que mostremos o que fazemos, como fazemos e qual a sua relevância. Este foi um dos objetivos do projeto Almada nos últimos 2 anos. Pela primeira vez, o público foi convidado a subir aos andaimes e pela primeira vez, crianças tiveram a oportunidade de desfrutar da companhia da Rita Almada Negreiros, aqui connosco também, enquanto pintavam, apesar de no início pensarem que ela fosse uma atriz contratada por nós para o efeito. E isto foi só 2 exemplos de muitas das atividades que nós planeámos e que levámos a cabo. O projeto Almada propõe uma mudança de paradigma que foi homenageada este ano pela Europa Nostra. Esta nomeação é mais um passo em frente na valorização do património português e a sua integração nas políticas europeias de conservação. Em nome de toda a equipa e parceiros do projeto, um muito obrigado à Europa Nostra. Em nome pessoal, um agradecimento sincero a todos os colaboradores, a todas as entidades que prontamente têm embarcado nesta aventura connosco, inclusive a minha família, que está aqui presente e tem sido um apoio fundamental. E agora, por último, desfrutem do vídeo que preparámos para todos, em qualquer lugar.
Almada is for everyone, anywhere refers to the open and free science strategy and community engagement policies of Project Almada, an academic research which aims to deepen understanding and to promote the preservation of the mural painting legacy left by Almada Negreiros, one of the greatest artists of the modernism movement in Portugal. From 1938 to 1956, Almada produced 5 iconic mural painting sets in Lisbon that stand out on account of their artistic quality and monumentality. They are located in the centre and on the city's riverside, and, in terms of their artistic value, are comparable to other works in Europe and the Americas in the first half of the 20th century. However, until recently, they were largely unresearched from a material and technical perspective, under-recognized as cultural heritage and largely unknown to the public, especially the younger generations. The Almada Negreiros project was initiated in March 2021 to change this status quo, with an innovative approach based on production of new knowledge about the materials and techniques used by the artist and past interventionary treatments. A safeguarding plan, supported by a diagnostic survey of the paintings to understand their decay and aging processes. A dissemination plan, founded on innovative and participative approaches. The Everyone Anywhere strategy of the Almada project is the establishment of a new open mindset for connecting academic heritage science research with the general public in a more inclusive, reflexive and interactive way. Activities include scientific guided visits to the paintings, hands-on workshops, appealing newsletters, interactive tools, videos, lectures, publications and cultural events. For many, it is the first acquaintance with Almada Negreiros and Almada mural painting art. For others, it is a fresh insight of his mastery as a mural painter. For most foreigners, the discovery of modern mural painting art in Portugal. For all, the consciousness and empowerment of cultural heritage as their own. In terms of cultural heritage, Almada Negreiros murals are a privileged means to rethink the goals of today's society worldwide. The themes portrayed from the 1940s are surprisingly up to date and address the main concerns of UNESCO and the Council of Europe in regard to intercultural dialogue and the protection of cultural diversity. Project Almada, Everyone, Anywhere.
Thank you so much, Mylène Gilles and your formidable team. Indeed, our cultural heritage is everywhere, everyone and anywhere. I think this is such a strong message because we need to build bridges between the professionals, the academic world and the grand public. So you have done that in an exemplary way. Thank you. And now the last category is the category of heritage champions. And it is the great privilege for us to have been able to award an archaeologist who is with us tonight, Claudio Torres, who has dedicated his entire life to revealing the legacy of Islamic heritage in Portugal. With what is happening today in the world, having persons like you, Mr. Torres, who have done so much to understand the importance also, the Islamic legacy in this country is so important. You could not be with us in Venice, but you are here in Lisbon with us, and we wish to congratulate you on behalf of the European Union, European Commission, and Europa Nostra. I believe that you prefer that somebody else speak about your achievements, and that will be Madam Ana Paula Amendoeira, Regional Cultural Director of Alentejo. But I believe that we will first see the video and then you will take the floor.
Em 1978, Cláudio Torres cria o campo arqueológico de Mértola. Desde então, o seu percurso, o seu projeto e a sua vida confundem-se num só.
O vir a Mértola foi uma descoberta, porque era uma vila no fim do mundo, pobre, o sítio onde se sentia ainda aquela coisa muito característica, que é o cheiro da miséria. Aqui na Vila Velha, os bandos de crianças ainda a correr, isso foi aquilo que marcou profundamente o abandono e principalmente um desejo imenso, uma população que cria novidades, que cria uma nova vida.
Ao longo de mais de 45 anos, foi revelado o admirável património romano, paleocristão e de origem islâmica. Foram criados 14 núcleos museológicos e editadas dezenas de publicações. Mértola, pela mão de Cláudio Torres, ajudou a reescrever a historiografia portuguesa.
Entretanto, andámos à procura do Islão, não é? Do Islão. que era a tradição, é a questão da Mértola, é a única terra no país que tinha ainda uma mesquita comprovadamente, estava ali ainda a mesquita, portanto tinha havido uma grande comunidade islâmica, portanto era essa que andávamos à procura.
As pedras de Mértola, a que Cláudio Torres deu uma visibilidade ímpar, mostram testemunhos das línguas latina, grega, romance, árabe e portuguesa.
Nesta altura também, a própria escavação lá em cima no bairro Almoada, encontramos uma série de peças cerâmicas que tinham uma certa decoração e foi aí pela primeira vez que fizemos a ligação entre a decoração da cerâmica da época Almoada com a decoração das mantas que estavam a ser levantadas na região. Portanto, hoje sabemos, está ligado precisamente a uma cultura de origem berber, que existe aqui ainda hoje no Rif norte-africano e na Cabília e que se estendia aqui para o sul da península.
Mértola transformou-se. Hoje, milhares de pessoas visitam-na todos os anos. A comunidade reapropriou-se da sua história e tornou-se parte do seu próprio futuro e desenvolvimento.
Hoje, Mértola é um polo interessante não só de investigação, estamos no princípio, é certo, mas já é possível abrir novos caminhos, novas estradas, até se quisermos, para a investigação histórica, arqueológica e etnográfica deste território.
Boa tarde a todos.
Good afternoon, Madam Secretary of State of Culture, Mayor of Lisbon, Trustee of the Gulbenkian Foundation, Chairperson of the Centre Nacional de Cultura, President of Turismo de Portugal, winners, congratulations, Mayor of Ever, dear Cláudio, our master. The archaeological site of Mértola, created by Cláudio Torres in 1978, is our most important and public innovative experience of local development, which is sustained in culture and knowledge, a truly multidisciplinary approach. Our master dreamed about cultural self-determination of a community and showed us an Alentejo that we will never see the same way after this man heard our dirt, our earth, and all the risk that it took without neutrality, but with the objectivity of conquering, of not settling down and asking and changing the official vision of the past and also of the present. The historian is like Percival, having the grail before him, but it will not be revealed unless the right question is asked. Who built Thebes or Mértola? The others. And who were those of the Islam? Those we were told that invaded us? Were they others? No, it was us. The others are those that Cláudio Torres understands, bringing them into the present and the future to transform and improve the life of people with culture, heritage, history, self-esteem, and an instrument to bring together dissonant parts. Cláudio Torres is replacing the heroic knowledge by the building knowledge that is not uncanny to its consequences and builds the principle of hope so that we believe in the occupation of the world by roses. With Cláudio, people and freedom are always before ideas, ideas before everything else. Very little rigidity and persistence in the steps to be given. Either they are small or steadfast, always dreaming, always believing, always trying, never giving up. Also in dark times, we have, like Hannah Arendt said, the right to hope to see some light, and it is possible that this light does not come from theories or concepts from the flickering flame that some are able to nourish in almost every circumstance and in every minute they live in this world. Some people cross our lives to shed light on it, and our master is a champion. Thank you.
Do you want to say something? You would like to? Congratulations.
Thank you. This is an undeserved, eventually undeserved compliment, but this means that I've been doing this for many years of giving meaning to a heritage which is sometimes put in museums or behind glasses, but this is also development, and it is different from the other normal development because it is based upon the past, something more ambiguous, which is culture, the past, history, but it is robust. It stays in our memory and grabs new generations. And this will mean that some of the population that is leaving the interior, coming to the city, lured by many aspects linked to development and abandoning their land. We have small villages in the interior being abandoned because there isn't this capacity to keep the population that wants to leave. And this is crucial that these small examples, a small land like Mértola that has 1,000 inhabitants, or maybe a bit more, now has a certain pride to be from Mértola. So we need to give a certain strength to this population that resists and stays in the interior instead of coming to the cities and the big capital to see naked broads, the speaker says, and going to the movies. Maybe it is possible to keep part of this population, and this is decisive to give development to small villages. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for this power of example that you have given to your country, but this is also a power example for Europe as a whole. Excellencies, dear colleagues and friends. Now, after this, the tribute that we have paid for the 4 Portuguese winners of our European Heritage Awards, Europa Nostra Awards, we have reached the central moment of this evening, the time to pay tribute to this year's winner of the Helena Vaz da Silva European Award for raising awareness and promoting Europe's culture and cultural heritage. And this year's winner is an extraordinary Portuguese in Europe and an extraordinary European from Portugal. Maestro Jorge Chaminé, founding president of the Centre Européen de la Musique, and many, 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 many things more. The jury of the award emphasized, among others, that after a highly successful international career as a baritone, and you will hear his baritone, during which he presented and promoted cultural heritage of Europe in many opera houses and concert halls, not only in Europe, but also in the rest of the world, you decided, Jorge, to dedicate the last 20 years of your life entirely to promoting the European spirit and identity through classical music, and that working purely on a voluntary basis. It's my pleasure to invite Guilherme de Oliveira Martins, in his capacity as member of the jury of the Helena Vaz da Silva European Award, to make a laudatory speech for Jorge Chaminé.
So allow me to begin by congratulating our laureate, Jorge Chaminé. So the award established by the National Culture Centre in 2003 in cooperation with Europa Nostra, the principal European organisation of the defence of heritage that the National Culture Centre represents in Portugal, and the Portuguese Press Club, the Helena Vaz da Silva, the European Helena Vaz da Silva Award, distinguish exceptional contributions for the protection and promotion of cultural heritage and European ideals. At a time when there are very worrying signs regarding the need to defend ourselves to defend our humanist perspective of human cooperation and social cooperation, faced with the threatening articulation of war risks, or risks of war, risks of change, climate change, health, food security, and the protection of the planet, and dangers related to cyber security, makes it necessary for us to be able to articulate social cohesion, human sustainability, and the new dimensions of knowledge. Jorge Chaminé is, after Oksana Liniz, Ana Teresa de Kismaker, José Tolentino Mendonça, Fabiola Gianotti, Bethany Hughes, Wim Wenders, Jean Plantureux, Eduardo Lourenço, Jordi Savall, Oren Pamuk, Claudia Margus. The jury unanimously decided, in coherence with the spirit of the award, to present the award, the 2023 award, to a musician who has, throughout his whole life and work, which cultivates historical memory as a factor of understanding, of knowledge, and safeguarding diversity and mutual respect. Helena Vaz da Silva is an example always present when we talk about of heritage and the memory, and memory as living realities. Her contribution was remarkable, not only in terms of cultural heritage, but also the defense of universal ideals of humanism and active citizenship. Cultural heritage is a dynamic and multi-sided reality which covers what we receive from the generations before us, who were totally taught, said patrimonial. And so the pleasure of receiving what we have been given. This covers what the generation before us, but also is the seed of contemporaneity to create value through the permanent movement of human creativity. This has been set out in the FADO Convention of the Cultural Humanity adopted by the Council of Europe in 2005 and is ongoing today. So for 5 years, Jorge Chaminé has tirelessly, on behalf of the musical heritage, European musical heritage, following the motto, the union, unity and diversity, he has devoted himself to safeguarding memory and the legacy of the famous soprano francesa mezzo-soprano Pauline Garcia Viardot, who many considered as a pioneer of Europe of culture. On behalf of the preservation of places of memory in Bougival, near Paris, namely the Villa Viardot and the Casa Bizet, where the composer created his masterpiece, Carmen, which today is the most often performed opera in the world. Jorge Chaminé was the founder and is the president of the European Music Centre, based in Bougival, with different satellites in different European countries under the motto "Let's Empower Music." His projects seek to give a vision, a joint vision around music and its multiple virtualities and virtues, including Via Musica, in which is included the network of European music museums and houses, and Via Scarlatti, in addition to the Music Brain Hub. Jorge Chaminé, born in Oporto, son of a Spanish mother and Portuguese father. So he was an Iberian. He was European, therefore, who occupies a preferential place in the world in the international lyrical song. Disciple of Rodriguez Aragon, Hans Hotter, and Teresa Berganza. He has a huge repertoire which goes from Bach to Xenakis, from Mozart operas to the contemporary operas, from tango to Hebrew literature, Tibetan liturgies, from bossa nova to colporteur songs or gypsy songs. A humanist and a polyglot, Jorge Chaminé attended the law course in the University of Cambridge and devoted all his life to promote European ideals, using music as a privileged vehicle of identity and cultural awareness of Europe open to the world. He performed as a soloist with the Symphonic Orchestra of Boston, Symphonic Orchestra of London, Czech Philharmonic, Berlin Philharmonic, and the Gulbenkian Orchestra, and the Ensemble Intercontemporain, and the baton of people like Yudi Menuhin, Sergio Zala, Giuseppe Sinopoli, Michel Corboz, or Placido Domingo. In 1993, he received the Medal of the Human Rights, the UNESCO Medal of Human Rights, as a recognition of the work carried out with children, and was appointed the Goodwill Ambassador of the Music in Middle East organization, having developed in Middle Eastern countries a number of musical educational practice programs, namely in Palestinian camps. And in May 2005, on the occasion of 60 years of the creation of UNESCO, a concert paying tribute to Aristide Sousa Mendes. He was the founder and artistic director of the SEMA Festival in Tuscany. And in 2000, he created the Georges Bizet Association, of which his vice chairman created with Marie-Françoise Buquet, the Son Croisés at workshops, bringing together in the Gulbenkian Foundation delegation in Paris 14 singers, pianists, chamber musicians, pedagogic lay laboratory and musical interpretation, which pursues in the Colegio de España of the Cité Internationale Université de Paris, and brings together 46 he brings together musicians of 40 different nationalities. He was the creator of the Iberiades Festival of Paris, and he's the artistic director of this. And he's also the director, as I've already said, of the Bougival Festival. Jorge Chaminé was awarded in 2011 the first musician for peace of the organization Music for Peace, chaired by Frederico Mayor. He is a professor and tutor of Stanford University since 2012, member of the board of the Monument International Foundation since 2015, and of the Europa Nostra board since 2019. With the support of the European Union, he created the Music for Rome project, recognizing the fundamental influence of Roma music in classical music. In 2018, he was decorated as the officier of the Order of Arts and Letters from the French Minister of Culture. And in 2019, he received the Grand Vermeil Medal of the City of Paris. I would like to take the advantage of this situation to quote a master and a common friend, Yehudi Menuhin, who said, "I believe that now is the time of a new formation, of a new knowledge, of a new respect for our mission as human beings, the moment to act as people responsible for our own safety." So no doubt the human spirit was formed by the example of books. The abstract studies are essential, and there are masterpieces of all types of arts. I'm obviously thinking about musical scores which appear sometimes to be divine. But before the abstract study, reading and writing, we have to begin with the formation of our senses, of our sensitivities. With the others, we have to, right from a childhood, to say, I can use my body. I'm going to make a work of it. I have talents in all my senses. I recognize them in me, and I can appreciate them in others. I can do other beautiful things. I can do beautiful things with others. We have to suggest a link with the unconscious, which unites the conscious, because without the unconscious, without the experience of our senses, all intellectual abstraction is just dust. Georges Chaminé, in this circumstance, here today, which is very opportune, to recall the memory of this friend in common and the values which he defended, and which today the laureate of this award, Helena Vaz da Silva 2023, represents. So I'd like to say give my greatest congratulations, say that we're very proud of recognizing him. The music here, together with all the other arts, as a factor, essential factor of free citizenship, equal citizenship. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Guillermo de Oliveira Martins. Only you can encapsulate so much things and give it an essence in the way you have done it. Thank you so much. And I think now it's the time that we invite Jorge Chaminé to the stage. And with Jorge Chaminé, I would like to invite Madam Secretary of State, Mr. Mayor of Lisbon, Madam President of the Centre Nacional de Cultura, Mr. President of the Turismo de Portugal, as well as Professor Irina Subotic and Pete Jaspert, to all join me here on stage, because all of them would like to present this year's Helena Vaz da Silva European Award for the promotion of European culture and cultural heritage to Jorge Chaminé. I think I'll have now to help a little bit to, yes, I think, George, we need you in the middle. We need you in the middle. And then Irina comes there as well. Pete. And Guillermo, of course. And there it is, the diploma. Yeah, now I think for the photographers, we need to have all, I think we need just a little bit come closer, and they have to tell us if this is okay. Is it okay? Thank you. Et maintenant, Georges, la parole est à toi.
Antes de mais, muito obrigado.
First and foremost, I would like to thank the award winners for your words, and I apologize in advance if I'm not going to greet all the authorities present here today. I will only say, my dear friends, my dear family. First of all, I would like to thank the kind words of Guilherme de Oliveira Martins and also the presence in this room of so many friends who have made the sacrifice of coming from far away and many from abroad to be here with me in this very moving day for a Portuguese like me. As you can easily imagine, it is with great emotion that I find myself in this foundation, so important in my life as a musician, both as a former scholarship holder and also as a participant in various concert seasons, to receive this surprising award. I say surprising, not only because of its prestige, because of the name it bears, Helena Vaz da Silva, and also because of the huge surprise it was for me to receive this news. I would like to thank the prestigious jury for giving me this immense honor. But, as I said when I heard the news, this award goes to the recognition given by the jury to the importance of music as the most concrete and essential of intangible heritages. Allow me to say a few personal words that are almost as a ritual in this kind of ceremonies, because I'd like to start with thanking my parents, since I'm fortunate enough to have my parents here today. 4 generations of Chaminés, from the Algarve to the Minho, the south to the north. We have here 4 generations, 4 archaeological strata of living in common. I know, my dear parents, that it was not easy to have me as a son, who at the age of 16 left a comfortable family home to go to Coimbra, sometimes going to the beautiful amphitheaters of the Faculty of Law. This path was never satisfactory for me, and at the age of 21, this madman for music left the country for good to move on to a known territory like Paris and then the world. In Paris, I was fortunate enough to devote myself totally to music and to put down roots, forming my family that I have in front of me, my children and my grandchildren, who, thanks to my marriage to the pianist Marie-Françoise Buquet, who I'm sure looks down on us with tenderness from the celestial vault. If you'll allow me, I'd like to offer a sort of gratitude in praise of friendship to the many, many people, without naming names, who have given me their trust and friendship over all these years, who have been my mentors, and with many of whom I've had the honor of sharing stages, projects, long conversations, many teachings, and who, through the magic of these encounters, have also made me who I am. And what am I? A simple servant of music. I've devoted and continue to devote my life to it, and today, with the European Music Centre project, I am trying to place it more and more at the heart of society, making our contemporaries aware of all its qualities and the disciplinary ramifications it allows, in a true and creative transdisciplinarity, taking it from the simple entertainment, giving it the true place it deserves at the banquet table of the res publica. And I hope that with the European Music Centre and all those that are already engaged, that a growing number of individuals and institutions will participate fully in this project, taking it where they live, with their skills, their contributions, and their hearts. These are investments in which there are no losers. There are only winners. This is the case in Portugal. And my dearest wish is for society to be profoundly changed by music, via música, We need everyone to take part, and I would like to thank the Alliance of Cities that, in an exemplary and unique way in the world, and today in Portugal, have come together to implement the European Music Centre. The cities of Braga, Faro, Figueira de Castelo Rodrigo, Grândola, Lisbon, Mafra and Porto will be launching the European Music Centre Portugal on the 25th of this month in the beautiful library of the National Palace of Mafra, hosted by the Mayor of Mafra. I would like to profoundly thank them, namely the mayors present here today, my good friends Carlos Moedas and Elder Silva. Thank you. It's been a long journey, always rooted in personal experience, and which today, in the light of my age, gives me the certainty that this path, even if difficult, has been worth all the effort, and that the path continues because it is made by walking, as the Spanish poet Antonio Machado would say. Apart from the immense personal satisfaction of having been able to perform professionally on stages full of symbolism for a musician, the most essential thing happened outside the Sentier Battu, where I constantly became aware of the innumerable powers of music. In theaters of war in the Middle East, among others, in the projects with children in Palestinian camps, in the educational effects for abandoned or orphaned children in Africa, Latin America or India, in concerts dedicated to prison populations or in hospitals, in workshops for young people with autistic syndrome, in building bridges between different cultures, proving Heraclitus' quote when he says, "Music is the only of human manifestations that manages to marry opposites." It was these moments that gave me the conviction that today, more than ever, we need music because it is a social link and an instrument of peace. And given the current situation, if we want a real transformation of an increasingly violent and divided world, we must transform this violence that we call original, but in my opinion, non-fateful, and music can be that direct route from the head to the heart and body. The essential triad of the complete human being. So let's move away from the old paradigms to which we continue to appeal and which are incessantly condemning us to failure. And let's put the tuning fork back into imagination and real listening to others, in searching for dialogue, which can only be reborn in respect. And also, let's not be afraid of words. Let's put all our energies into the realization of peace. Goodness and beauty, concepts that are so mistreated and almost excommunicated today, and which, when mentioned, are often uncomfortable, even in a coffee conversation. So let's use music as an example of dialogue and democracy. It awaits us, ever patient. Let's summon her. God made time his greatest discovery. Music reinvents God. These are the words of my much admired friend Eduardo Lourenço, who preceded me as the Helena Vaz da Silva Award winner, and with whom, in Paris, I had the privilege of talking at length with his passion for music as a backdrop. This musical time, which millions of individuals live in every day, in a society that increasingly shuns them for a scene of usefulness, inscribed in this desire for decades to install us in a world of cacophony, in a tribal battle from social media to the cruel wars that continue to escalate dangerously on this planet, and perhaps in a naivete that I still want intact and that has accompanied me since I was conscious of myself. I thought, perhaps pretentiously, that if there was a mission, it was to try to change the world through music. Years later, I learned that my mentor and friend Yehudi Menhun often dreamed as a child that if he played Bach's Chaconne in D minor in the Sistine Chapel, the world would become a better place for everyone. And let me emphasize here what the Spanish say would be a guiño de Dios, a wink of God's eye, since Helena Vaz de Silva was a member of the board of the International Yehudi Menuhin Foundation, a position I hold today, and she was the founder of the Menuhin Association in Portugal. Invisible threads of existence to which I'm deeply sensitive. In my dream, I didn't go to the Sistine Chapel, but I stayed with the desire to plant musical seeds that, against winds and tides, with years of drought or floods, would have the strength to continue what, in a surprising way, Yehudi Menuhin himself would have read in my being, since very quickly, since he gave me the award of his foundation in 1988, he rebaptized me Yorgos, the name George in Greek, which means farmer. Today, some of these seeds have already grown. Others are already sprouting, like here in Portugal. Many haven't yet, and some may not grow at all. But what counts is that many will be able to rest in the shade of beautiful musical trees. And I'm sure that the wonderful words of Stefan Zweig will come true. In the history of wars, we are all enemies. In the history of culture, we are all siblings. Thank you very much.
Querido Jorge, I have heard you speaking in many languages. In French, in English, in Italian, in Spanish, in German, I think even in Russian. And this is the first time I and many of us from the big Europa Nostra family had immense joy of hearing you speaking in your father tongue, I understand. understand, not your mother tongue, but your father tongue. And I was thinking, were you speaking, or was it music that I was hearing? George, on behalf of the whole of Europe, a big thank you for who you are and for what you have done in the past, what you are doing today, and that what you will be doing in the future to make Europe and the planet a better and more peaceful place to live and to love. So, muito obrigada. On behalf of all of Europe, on behalf of all the partners, thank you, Jorge, and a special congratulations to the proud parents. He's very proud of you, but it is fantastic that you could be with us tonight, together with your granddaughter and your grandchildren. It is a very, very special message that culture matters. And thank you. You are the real European voice of culture and cultural heritage that we pretend to be, but you are that voice. So it was, I think, an immense pleasure of all of us to honor you with this award. I know that this is also not And as you have said, this is not the end of the events here in Portugal. We know that here we have the mayor of Mafra with us, and there will be a special event on Wednesday morning on the 25th, where 7 mayors of 7 extraordinary cities in Portugal will gather to sign a memorandum of understanding supporting in the future the work of the Centre Européen de la Musique here in Portugal. So this is also a wonderful support that is given by this country to and such an extraordinary European that was born here, I think. Are you born in Portugal? We still have, for the end of the ceremony, one video message, but before that video message, I also want to thank the extraordinary team of Centro Nacional de Cultura, led by Teresa Tamen, and all of you who have worked very hard to prepare this event. You are many, and working hand in hand with our team in The Hague and in Brussels, and represented here by Joana Pinheiro, a Portuguese member of our staff, and that is, I want also, Joana, you should also stand up, but this is the sort of the symbol that all these can only be done together. And to end, who else? That the President of the Portuguese Republic. He has been an enthusiastic and loyal supporter of the Helena Vaz da Silva Award ever since it was created, and he has recorded a special video message for the end of this ceremony. Enjoy, and also enjoy the rest of this evening.
Well, as I was unable to attend the presentation, as has already happened in previous editions, in terms of the presentation of the Helena Vaz da Silva European Prize, I would once again like to convey my appreciation for its purposes, to celebrate the European spirit as heritage, in other words, Europe as culture. The award given the institutions that present it and the name of Helena Vaz da Silva was always going to be, as it is, cosmopolitan and eclectic. That's why it has honoured writers, poets, filmmakers, choreographers, cartoonists, musicians, historians, philosophers and scientists. And as I said on other occasions, honouring a musician in this context is a reminder of the universalism of music and the universalist commitment of so many musicians. And here I recall the case of Daniel Barenboim with his West Eastern Divan Orchestra, an orchestra of young Jewish and Arab musicians at a time of conflict, as well as being a baritone with an international career and ecumenical ties. This year's prize winner, Jorge Chaminé, has devoted himself to the dissemination and training, but also to reaching out to other peoples. And I would highlight among his initiatives music in the Middle East and the tribute to Aristide Sousa-Mendes. For this activism, he received the Human Rights Medal from UNESCO. We need, and we will always need, artists, and perhaps more now than ever, perhaps musicians more than anyone else. But we urgently need men and women of goodwill and a strong will, for whom culture is both aesthetics and humanism. In other words, civilization. For this reason, too, I congratulate the judges of the Helena Vaz da Silva Award, and very warmly the winner, Jorge Chaminé. Now we're announcing the end of the session. We'd thank you very much for having come, and we hope to see you once again in 2024 for the presentation of the mixed European Helena Vaz da Silva Award. Thank you.